All right, so finally I get to upload this video. I'm going to be talking today about my first major surgery that I'm about to have. For those of you who don't know, I'm about to have a surgery done in Miami. It is going to be a Brazilian butt lift, aka the BBL. It has become such a popular surgery, especially in this year, last year. It's been so popular. And for me, I just felt like after researching this surgeon for about at least 12 years, it was the time to just take that leap and get it done and out of the way, because prices are moving up. I'll be honest, a lot of these surgeries, their prices are not the same as they were back when I was researching them over 10 years ago. So I felt like, why not just jump in right now while the price is still right, and I felt like I could afford it. You want to call the surgery center that you're going to be going with, and they're going to ask you for a deposit. For me, it was $250 to put down, so that was not a big deal. And you want to make sure that once you put your $250 down, you also ask how long you have to pay off your surgery and how valid is that deposit for, because sometimes, like with one clinic, they might have your deposit is valid for 3 years, so you could save that price for 3 years, whereas other places, they want you to set a date and they want you to pay towards that date right then and there, so, or you lose your deposit. So it is very important to ask these coordinators on the phone those questions, just so that you understand where your money's going and how much time you have. I'd advise you to kind of budget accordingly, meaning if you're not ready for your surgery, like cash in hand right now, or you're not sure if you're going to have that money in the next 3 to 6 months, you might want to plan your surgery within a year's time frame. So maybe you pay your $250 now, and then every month you'll pay $250 until the end of 12 months, and then once it's paid off, you have your date set and you'll go ahead and have your surgery. And it just makes the process smoother, and it allows you to take time to pay for your surgery and also take time to prepare, because the price that you are given for your surgery, let's just use an example as $4,000. Let's say your surgery is $4,000, yes. However, there are some hidden fees that will arise, and there are some not hidden fees, but you will have to buy in the long run, that you need to be aware of, and you need to also make sure that you're saving for. So with that $4,000, you want to find out, do you have a mandatory cell saver fee? Because some of these clinics, they do have a mandatory cell saver, and that can range anywhere from $500 and up. So that's additional on top of that $4,000. Then they might have, we have the COVID test. COVID test can range from $50 to $100. You have your drug test, $25. You have your pregnancy test, $25. You have like for me, I'm coming from out of town, so I did a medical over here, but then they also wanted me to do a medical on that side as well in Miami, so I will have to pay an extra $100 for that medical. And you want to find out, do I get a faja? Do I get foam boards? Do I get massages? Things of that nature. What does your package include? Does that $4,000 include everything you need for your surgery, as far as your faja, your foams, and some massages, compression socks? Or is it just the $4,000 and you need to buy all of those things separately? Find that out, and make sure that you're writing it down and you're taking your notes, because if you do need to buy things outside of your package, you want to make sure that you're also setting aside those funds, or creating a list and just chopping it down month by month until, or day by day, week by week, until the date of your surgery. Another thing is, even though they are going to be giving you a faja when you get there, a lot of the clinics, they automatically include that in there. Some don't, but some do. You also want to make sure that you're taking the initiative and you're purchasing another faja separately. Well, with that being said, you want to make sure that especially in your first couple of days, you're going to be bleeding a lot. You want to have 2 fajas to swap out of, so when you take one off that's dirty, you can put one on that's clean, and you can just rotate through the 2. And I wouldn't probably buy much more than 2 fajas of the same size, only because when you initially get your surgery, they'll fit, but then as you start to go down in swelling, you're going to want to decrease your sizing. So let's say you're a medium, you'll get 2 mediums, and then you'll wear that for about 6 weeks or 2 weeks or 4 weeks, and then once you start getting smaller and your swelling goes down, you're going to decrease your size to a small, and then maybe you know, swelling will go down even more, and then you're going to decrease to an extra small. So you just want to take your time to make sure that you are properly purchasing your fajas accordingly. You don't want to buy 5 mediums and then you're only wearing it for 2 weeks, and those fajas, they do add up. So you want to make sure that you're spreading your money out as best as possible when you are making these purchases for your surgery journey. So I would just suggest to get 2 fajas of the same sizes for your initial pre-op experience. So that's for the fajas. Let me think. So yes, so then you want to, if you are a smoker, this is very, very important. If you are a smoker, and when I mean smoker, I'm talking about cannabis, I'm talking about nicotine. You want to make sure that you're stopping smoking at least 45 days. 30 days is not enough, because these days, I mean, what's a light smoker? You're either smoking or you're not. And if you are smoking, even if you're taking in secondhand smoke and you're not smoking as much, it's just as damaging and it's just as effective as you just smoking a full-blown blunt or whatever. So you want to give yourself a solid 45 days to detox yourself. In some cases, you might even have to take 60 days. And again, that's for you to ask your coordinator and confirm if that's something that you need to do. So you want to make sure you're taking that time off and you are completely detoxing, and not just being abstinent from smoking, but also making sure that you're detoxing your body, whether that's, you know, drinking a lot of water, hydrating yourself. And if you are drinking a lot of water, you want to make sure that you're mixing that with electrolytes, or you're drinking a Gatorade. And electrolyte powder you can actually purchase in your local health food store, possibly even a Walmart. So you want to have that with you so that you're able to stay hydrated, and it's not just solid water going in your system. You want it to make sure that it's doing what it's supposed to. So either you have your Gatorade in your water, or you have your water with your electrolyte powder, and you're going to put that in there. I actually have my little concoction here. This is my jug, and this is a 3.9 liter jug. Oh, my phone's going off. Sorry. And inside of my jug, I actually have my water, of course. I have 5 scoops of electrolyte powder. I have a cup and a half of cranberry juice. I have, I didn't really do the exact measurements for the lemon juice, but I put a little bit of lemon juice, put a little bit of lime juice in there, and gave it a really good shake. And that's what I'm drinking, and that's what I'm using to detox. So I would encourage you to you also use those ingredients, as they do help aid with your detox. And again, I'll just say them. It's going to be your water, your electrolyte powder, your lemon juice, your lime juice, and your cranberry juice. You don't have to mix it all together. Like what I also do, because this is very much diluted in this big old jug here, in the morning I'll drink a cup of cranberry juice straight. I will drink a little bit of lemon juice, and I will also drink a little bit of lime juice, just all separately, so that they all get to do what they're supposed to. Pardon me?
I'm just in the back taking the leaves out of the pool real quick.
Okay, be careful. All right, sorry about that, guys. So as I was saying, you want to...
Did you want to come into the side and see it?
In a little bit, I'm just recording this quick video.
Okay.
Sorry about that. So as I was saying, you want to have these ingredients to make sure that you are maximizing your detox results. Also, if you can, go ahead and purchase you some drug tests for cannabis. You can find them at the dollar store. You can find them on Amazon. You want to find a drug test and you want to make sure that you're testing yourself at the 30-day mark. And the reason why I say at the 30-day mark is because if you are coming up positive even after your detox, even after you've been abstinent from smoking, that just tells you that you need to step your game up. You need to detox more. And that also tells you, you know, how far you are with your detox. If it's coming up negative, then you know you're right on track. If it's coming up positive, that means that you need to add, you know, step it up, add more water to the routine, add more cranberry juice to the routine. You want to step it all the way up. Some other reasons why you might come up positive is if you are overweight and have a really high BMI, you want to just really give yourself that 60 days or that 45 days because marijuana does like to stick to your fat. So it will definitely be a lot more challenging to detox if your BMI is high or if you are considered overweight, right? So I'm just putting it out there. These are the things that I've picked up. These are lessons that I've learned along the way. And I've already passed my 30 days and I'm still coming up positive. So like my BMI is actually very low, but I'm still coming up positive and I know that I have to step it up. That's why I brought this jug and this pushes me. I keep it in the car with me and it makes me feel great. So yeah, like you want to do that. Also, what else can I say? You want to make sure that you're staying very close to your coordinator. Things are going to change all the time. Everything looks so perfect. Everything seems so smooth. Everything seems to be going so good until you're down to your last 20, 30 days. Then you go down to your 10 days, things get even more tense and it just gets more and more tense until you just go ahead, you're there, everything checks out and you have your surgery. So it is very good to stay close to your coordinator. Call them weekly, call them bi-weekly, whether or not they're calling you, just call them, check in, find out what else you need to send them, what else is needed of you. Ask a lot of questions. You want to make sure that you're doing your medical in an appropriate time frame. A lot of times it's 30 days before, and you want to make sure that you're getting all the tests done. You don't depend on your doctor to make sure that it's done. You look on that paperwork and you also make sure that all your tests are done and done right so that you are not, you know, 5 days out and now you have to go get added tests. It's just too frustrating. You don't want to deal with that. So make sure that you're taking your own due diligence and you're making sure that everything is done correctly. With that being said, if you do have a portal as well, you want to go through each and every tab and see what is needed of you, what is not needed of you. Just go through, click around, because you never know, you might see some forms on there and maybe those forms are forms that they're going to be asking you to fill out on your day of surgery anyways. So if you can fill those forms out in advance, it just saves you so much time and it just saves you so much frustration. Just fill them out and then you can ask all your questions that you need to. If you have any questions or concerns, you can get those answered with your doctor or your coordinator at that time. As you get closer to the date, especially if you're going to the surgical center that I went to, things might happen. I was changed dates 3 times. So they changed, I was October 1st, then they wanted to change me to the 17th, then they changed me to the 28th, then they changed me to the 29th. So the change is real. So you want to make sure, for one, you're doing your detox, because if they do decide to switch you and they back you up into a corner, which happens, and you know, with these surgeries being so booked, if they say, hey, we need you to come in on the 17th now because this date is no longer available for whatever reason, I mean, either you're going to take that date or they're going to book you out again another 3 to 6 months to a year because that doctor is booked out. So you want to make sure that you're preparing yourself, you're preparing your schedule, being as open as possible so that if these things do occur, you are completely ready for it. And that's just in your own best interest because things are going to come up. Things will happen. Situations do change in those surgical centers, and they don't really care about your personal life. They just care about what they're doing. So with that being said, have an open mind, be open, be ready to make changes if need be, and just be very, very flexible, especially during that entire month that you'll be getting your surgery. Another thing, so you want to make sure that your hotel is booked well in advance, because you do not want to have any kind of issues with trying to get a hotel last minute and everywhere being booked up. So try to book your hotel in advance. You'll probably get a really good rate too. And just, you don't really have to let them know that, hey, I'm going in for a surgery, like, you don't have to do all of that stuff. Just go ahead and book your room. And again, you're going to make sure that you're making your due diligence when you do get out there. You know, you're using your shower curtain liners, you're using your urine pads, you're using all the right things you will need to make sure that you leave that hotel room exactly how you found it. Because if you don't, you're going to get an extra bill, which is just going to be unnecessary. So, and that goes back to what I was originally talking about when I said make sure that you have money on hand. Because when you come out there, all of these different things will start surfacing, these different fees for different things. So you want to make sure that in addition to you coming out with paying your surgery, you want to come out with an additional, I would say about $2,000, to be honest, and that'll cover your hotel, that'll cover your expenses, like maybe some food while you're out there, and then that'll also cover little things that you might be asked to pay for while you were there unexpectedly. So hope this all makes sense. I'm probably going to do a part 2, and if I have missed anything, if you have any additional questions that you want answered, please feel free to ask me in the comments. Again, my surgery date isn't until the 29th now, so I can't really answer any post-op questions, but any pre-op questions that you might have, feel free to put it in the comments, and I can just make a video about all of those questions that you've asked and answer them one at a time, and kind of give you guys some guidance with that. This is my first surgery, but I have done a lot of research for a very long time, and I have amazing surgery sisters that have answered my questions, and I've really just done my homework and tried to make this as smooth as an experience as I could possibly can for myself. But nothing's perfect. Things happen, and that's okay. But as long as you're flexible and as long as you keep a positive mindset, you will get through it. Another thing before I get off of here is, with saying positive mindset, things are going to change, and some of these coordinators have really bad attitudes, and that's just a fact. Not everyone's going to have a really nice attitude about things, but that doesn't mean that you need to meet them at that crossroad. You want to make sure that you're being on your best behavior. You want to take responsibility for your own actions, and regardless of how they might be addressing you, you want to make sure that you are keeping your cool. And again, you're being open, you're being flexible, you're asking questions respectfully, because you don't want to have an overall bad experience. And if you really make some of these guys mad, some of them might just turn around and sabotage you, whether that's changing your date last minute, whether that's canceling you for something petty, whether that's, anything. So just keep a positive attitude, keep a positive mind, and keep a positive mouth. And try to make sure that you're doing the best thing for yourself, you're being responsible, and you are just being the best person that you can be throughout this experience. So in any case, the finger will never be pointed at you as far as, just having a bad attitude or whatever, you're putting your best foot forward all the way through. And that just helps you also with your process, your healing, and your stress levels. You don't want to stress yourself out, and then next thing you know, you're having problems. So I would definitely suggest these things. I'm kind of all over the place with this video, so hopefully you have the gist of what I'm trying to say. And again, if you do have any additional questions, I am here to help. I am here to help answer them. And also, I will be sharing my experience all the way through. So yeah, just keep me in your thoughts, keep me in your prayers. Subscribe if you like this content. Like I said, I'm just winging it on my phone just as a quickie, but I promise that the quality will get better and better as we continue on this journey, ladies and gentlemen. So please subscribe to my channel and please comment. All comments are welcome, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Thank you. Bye.